The first Excelsiors were beautifully built, really high quality machines. They were widely respected. The castings were lovely. The finish was beautiful. They did a really nice job. When Excelsior started building motorcycles, the landscape before World War I was huge. A lot of which were using proprietary motors that they would buy elsewhere, that they would stick in their own chassis, or just simply put a badge on someone else's product. Excelsior designed their whole machine from stem to stern. It was a real quality product that they had to prove, so they used it in racing from day one. You had these three companies, Indian, Excelsior-Henderson, and Harley, racing against each other, and it was intense competition. Speeds were over 100 miles an hour on racetracks, and it was also a technological competition. Excelsior became so successful and actually gained a name for themselves almost immediately by winning races. After Excelsior-Henderson left the market, it became about run what you brung racing. The technical aspect of premier racing in the United States died away with Excelsior-Henderson. So in 1912, Ignaz Schwinn, who owned the huge bicycle manufacturing concern in Chicago, decided he wanted to expand into motorcycle production. So even though Excelsior was selling like gangbusters, they were in a massive financial crisis, and Frederick decided to sell to Ignaz Schwinn. And that's when the big red X becomes part of their logo. When Schwinn bought Henderson, suddenly he was the only manufacturer of four-cylinder bikes in the United States. It was known as the Duesenberg of motorcycles because it was an incredibly high-quality machine. It was, in fact, the first motorcycle to go around the world in 1912. So Schwinn had bought an incredibly valuable property in the Henderson Motorcycle Company, and it was a real jewel in the Schwinn empire. Schwinn has always built bicycles since the 1890s. And when the Great Depression began in late 1929, Schwinn was an astute businessman, and he said, this is going to last a while, and I need to focus on my core business. He walked into a board meeting one day and he says, gentlemen, today we stop. And they literally stopped production in 1930. And so the brand sort of stopped when it was at the very peak of its success. You know, it was highly esteemed, it was building the best racers in the world, and then it was over. But the name was retained, and it's been held to this day even, and it's pretty remarkable that it's coming available. All the intellectual property rights and designs and everything, it's an incredible opportunity. And for someone with vision who really gets what an important piece of Americana they're buying. I mean, this is an entree into the American market with a legitimate name, with incredible history. You know, when is another one like this going to come available?